Hello and welcome to the Mix Air Rap Podcast. I'm your host, DJ B Wise. This is a podcast where we talk about hip hop from boom bap to trap. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We back in the building, family. You know who I got by my side? I got the backpack legend, the underground legend, the all-knowing Kev is in the building. We coming at y'all tonight with this. Check it out. XXL Awards 2025. Before we get into it, I got to let my man Kev jump in and give his 2 cents before we dive deep. All right, Kev, how you doing, baby?
Very excited. Want to say thank you to all the listeners. Your input, your downloads, your listens, everything, man. We really appreciate it. And don't think just because we just being mean or negative sometimes, man, we don't appreciate feedback or any type of commentary, man. And just kind of can't wait to get into these awards and really see, what people really think about it.
Yeah, man, that's what's up. I appreciate that. We are going to jump straight into it. I do have to give a shout out, not a shout out. I do have to bring news to the faithful. I'm pretty sure everyone's heard. If not, we want to give a rest in power to Valletta Wallace, the mother of our man, Notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls, Christopher Wallace. May she rest in peace and strength. Man, she was 72 years old, where she was able to see the success of her loins. So got to appreciate that. All right. So we're going to jump straight into it, right? So let's go with the nominees for Artist of the Year.
Got Tyler, the Creator, Kendrick, Nicki Minaj, Drake, Travis Scott, Glorilla, and Future. So, I mean, I don't know. Somewhat like the Grammys, Double XL kind of follow suit in this point, and of course, Kendrick won. But I think this is a good list of nominees, though. I think it's a very good list. And I'm kind of surprised, Double XL actually, somewhat got it right. You know what I mean?
But do you really believe they got it right?
Outside of outside of Dolce not being nominated, Nicki Minaj really didn't do nothing. You could say her, maybe she shouldn't have been there. She should have been replaced by Dolce. Travis Scott could be
He
but I
sold
mean
very well. He sold well.
in 2024.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I mean, outside of Nicki Minaj, that's the only one I really think is wrong. I mean, the Tyler album is good. We discussed that. The Glorilla album is good. We discussed that. Future put out 2 strong projects. We talked about Future not really being recognized, for what he did this year. So, I mean, who would you replace on this list though?
I wouldn't replace anybody on the list. What I would say is I get it that this was Kendrick's year. But when you're talking about Artist of the Year and not, meaning, they're just nods that people aren't looking at. For Future to put out 2 projects in a year and they both sell well, they both were nominated for multiple awards. That's an impressive year, I do believe that Drake, he did give us a record album last year, but it wasn't, his best stuff. I think the stuff he did with the beef was better. Tyler's album just came out a little late for this. And like you said, Doechii should definitely be on here. God bless Nicki Minaj and all the Barbs. You know how y'all, you guys don't love me, but I don't know why she's on this list. I really don't. This was, it's maybe for entertainer of the year. She might have been on there, but there's just no other reason. Glow, I didn't think Glow was going to win based on, again, she new to the game. So yeah, it was definitely for me, Travis Scott, Future, they deserve something this year. their albums sold very well. They were on the charts a lot. Kendrick is rolling off of the wave of 2 songs.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay. Okay.
So
I mean, it's a uh, it's hard to it's you can pick another person, but Kendrick had a number one rap disc, and that's never been seen before. So, and now he's part of pop culture because now everyone is saying mustard. So
yes, yes.
it's the levels he achieved last year. You know, if you take out what you feel about his music, you have to give him credit for what he was able to do. And I don't know if a lot of people can take their opinions as opposed to people's achievements in the picture. Like, we did GNX, so we were kind of iffy on it, but at the same time, I think we can recognize that the impact and how it transcended rap itself. It's pop culture now.
No doubt. Definitely
So
got to say that.
yeah,
It's definitely pop culture. Um, the wave was a tsunami. So I'll take the hits off of that because the wave was a tsunami. I know he only wrote it on two tracks, but those 2 tracks were a tsunami. So for that, he does deserve artist artist of the year, right? Is that artist of the year? Yeah, artist of the year. So do you have the list for the next award for Double XL's 2025 awards?
next up, album of the year. Eminem, Death of Slim Shady, Kendrick, GNX, Tyler's album, Future, Metro Boomin, We Don't Trust You, Dochi's album, Gunner 101, and 21 Savage, American Dream. So I think we already know who won this. But if you don't know, it went to Kendrick, GNX. Yes, no, maybe so. Come on.
No. Again, I really thought I thought that I thought the Double XL, I thought the Grammys, I also thought the American Music Awards and MTV Awards loved Eminem a little more than they showed this year. You know, now let me ask you this: is this his first time retiring or his second?
That's an excellent question. I think that he's always teased it, but I think this is his first official.
And I just looked that up. This is his first official. So let me just
I
say
don't think
this.
he's coming back though.
I'm with you. But what I'm saying is one of the biggest artists of the 20th first century tells you that he's retiring. He doesn't get his flowers by at least one of the awards. I get that. I get that Kendrick K. Dot was a tsunami. I get that. But as far as album sales or streams this year, so streams and album sales is different. Eminem top 5 of album sales, top 10 of streams. I just thought he would
Did
get
he? He
some.
did get a Grammy, didn't he? Didn't he get a Grammy nomination this year?
He got nominations. What I'm saying, I
Yeah.
thought he'd win something. I thought he'd
No,
either win MTV awards. He's made those companies a lot of money. Come on.
he did, but at the same time, we know Eminem doesn't care about awards. That's not to say that his lack of enthusiasm or even showing up at the awards played a part in him not winning, but him getting nominated, I think was good enough to him. Because,
Yeah.
be all honestly, if he'd have went up there and won, I think he would have. I think he would have said somebody else probably had a better album. To be honest with you, so I'm not. I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. Like I wouldn't have put Eminem album as one of the best, but like you said, he's done so much. He's achieved so much. So it's kind of like, okay, we're gonna recognize you as you walk out the door. So I mean, outside of I mean 21 Savage and Gunner could be considered questionable to some people. What are your thoughts on that one?
So, Gunna's project, I think I have to look it up, but I think Gunna's project sold in the top 15
Right.
or streamed in the top 15 of the year. So making the list, I can't knock them making the list. Again, the issue more so for me was that Eminem saying that this was his last year. And, you know, all these companies, all these media companies, all of these tabloids, everybody has made millions off of Eminem. And again, not saying that I like the album that much. All I thought was me thinking into current times is that if one of the greatest to ever do it, same thing I would do for Lil Wayne. Is I'm not a huge fan. We all know I'm not a huge fan of Lil Wayne. But if he said, "Hey, I'm done," that he would, and he put out his last project. If it was Carter 2020 or 20, I'm sorry, Carter 22 or Carter at 50, that people would then, that these media companies would then say, hey, you know what? We made a lot of money writing about this guy. He's made us a lot of money. Let's MTV, let's give him an award. We'll give him something. There's something we can give him. And that's all. That's the only reason why I bring that up, based on just that. I just really thought that there'd be some flowers shown for one of the guys who really made you a lot of money. I don't know if they do that for Future. And I'm starting to think that they may not do that for Travis Scott. What you think? If when they retire, do you think they'll get any flowers?
I don't know what media is going to look like at that point. I mean, double XL still being in existence, I think uh is kind of major. Granted, outside of their freshman freestyle series, it doesn't get the notoriety that they normally get. So, them doing award show, doing an award segment kind of this late in the year, it's kind of like, hey, we're glad you did it, but what's really going on? But I don't know if Travis gets a lot of send offs. I can see Future. Future maybe, Travis no.
I'm with you on that. I don't know, man. I'm just starting.
Double XL, you got Hip Hop D. It's two of us I can't really think of right now, but it's like, hip hop media is TikTok and Instagram and YouTube more than it is these actually online blogs where people actually, still a skill. It's a skill to write a good story as opposed to people sitting there giving their opinions. It's just either you're gonna like it or not, as opposed to writing a good story where you're down the middle, which is hard to do. I wish, I don't know. I don't know. I wish we could bring back the magazines or the blog era, which was like huge in the underground, but I think it was so important because a Travis Scott could get the proper recognition that he should get, like outside of a couple people's opinions, but it doesn't really sound like actual media. And it's gone. I hate this. I hate to take a crap on it, but we really don't have media anymore. It's just like who was it? Elliot Wilson. Like when he took the shot at Cameron and Mace, and it was like, I get where you're trying to come from, but do a collaboration with them instead of taking a crap on them. Because like at the end of the day, these dudes can go out here and write a quick 16 and that's it. We don't hear Elliot Wilson no more. You know what I'm saying? That's where we at right now. So I don't know. I don't know. I would love to see, but I would love to see the hip hop media play a role in what's going on because it was in our era, it was so important. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't just people trying to guess a rating on an album as opposed to the good number of albums getting good reviews, good honest reviews, where if someone got a 5 mic, we knew that was legit. It's like it was like it was maybe what 10% out of all the 5 mics that was questionable.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like a four mic was kind of like we could. It was a bigger debate over a 4 mic album than a 5 mic album. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But that was the quality. That was what hip hop media was so. It wasn't judgmental. It wasn't your opinion. It was fair. It felt fair. Let me say
Mhm.
that. It felt fair. Now, we hear the stories now, Benzino, different stuff, but I hate to be long-winded, but it's just the hip hop media is important. And it's just, I don't know if that comes back. But like I said, I could see Future getting recognition at the end of his career. I don't know about Travis Scott. We talked about Travis Scott quite often. What you said about Rhapsody, I think you can say about Travis Scott. Like, you need that radio or club classic hit that just goes on and on and on. You know what I mean? Like, where it's not just a certain age group likes it. It's like everyone likes it. You know what I mean? So
No doubt. I'm looking at it, trying to look it up now that you brought it up. I just said I wanted to peek at it very quick to see the 22 song Travis Scott discography that are the winners. I think maybe most of them come from Astro World. I just, Lights, yeah, the Love Sick song. Okay, I know that joint. Quintana, that joint is one. Yosemite. I don't know if I'm tripping on that. First Take. Oh no, I'm sorry. That started from the lowest down. Let's go to
I
his
mean,
top
but
ones. His number one. Oh my, this side. I finna say. I was like, wait a minute. I know
but how
some of the
is it
songs.
up tempo or is it kind of
Sicko Mode is the one where you're gonna get the most up tempo.
yeah?
Clubs aren't what we remember them to be. And then 90210, those three I would say are decently up
I
tempo.
mean, but
But you looking at for Travis, you looking at maybe 88 to 94 BPM. That's about
yeah,
it for him.
yeah, but yeah. So I mean, when we kind of overall looking at this album of the year list, it's hard to it's hard to go against Kendrick this year. Um, we did our album of the year list, and neither one of us had Kendrick at number one. I think you had Tyler up high. Yeah, I had Tyler and Dolce one too. I don't know if I asked. I can't remember which one I put at one, but those are my top two. So we got half the list up here. The other half we were like, but it's okay. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah. So song of the year. You got Kendrick, Not Like Us, Drake, Family Matters. I'm shocked about that one. Uh Kanye, Ty Dolla Sign, Carnival, Glorilla, Yeah Glow, Future, Like That featuring Kendrick, Sexy Red, Get It Sexy, and Kendrick with Euphoria. Of course, we all know, Not Like Us. No surprise. Um, I'm surprised that Double XL gave Kendrick technically three nominations. He had two songs, one
And a
feature.
feature.
He's on it three times. He had a good year. He had a good year. Like it or not, he had a good year. He's
And
all over
he
the
has
radio.
to thank Future for that and Metro Boomin.
Uh,
They afforded him the opportunity to start this beef.
okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. They didn't change his verse. They
Nope.
didn't edit his verse.
Nope.
Um, they let it play like it is. But I still I can't fault Drake. Um, I don't think Drake is the best battle rapper, but I don't think Drake lost that by a lot. I think he really held his own. And if he could get in the right setting, I think he can put out a good diss record, like an effective diss record, as opposed to getting very personal. Yeah, yeah. So the Yeah Glow and Get It Sexy, those were songs that were all over the radio. A couple of club hits. Yeah, but not like us. Nothing's beating that. I don't think nothing was beating that. So
Yeah, no doubt, bro. You were totally on with that one. It is what it is. There's not much more we can really roll with that. I'm back up on the list now, and we just got through with Song of the Year. We moving on to Male Rapper of the Year. The nominees: Travis Scott, Future, Tyler the Creator, Eminem, J. Cole, Drake, and the winner, Kendrick Lamar. This is a tough one again, because when you're talking about the body of works put out and who streamed the most, who sold the most. I'm not saying that Kendrick wasn't there, but if you take what Future did and you take what Travis Scott did, you are getting two of the most streamed artists of 2024. I think
but
Kendrick has been like top 3, top 5 throughout the year, and it seemed like to me it's always been Travis and Future. I'll double check as we conversate, but I'm gonna let drop it off to my man Kev. Kev, go ahead and give your 2 cents.
I think it's weird that J. Cole wasn't in the artist or album of the year listing, but he ends up in male rapper of the year when J. Cole had arguably he had a noteworthy album. Like nothing against Future. Um, but if you had to rank the albums, J. Cole album would get a better ranking than Eminem's. Eminem might stream better, but I don't think more people talked about the J. Cole album than they did Eminem's album. Uh, Drake, outside of the beef, you know, that was all Drake really had this year. Nothing against Drake, but it's a thing of body of work. Like, okay, Drake had what 6 songs during the beef. That's enough to get you what an EP. Okay, I'll give you that. But I don't know if Future. I like both of Future's albums, but I like J. Cole's better. And I'm just surprised he's in this list and not in one of the other two. So I don't know. I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one. This one is a little different, and I don't know if they was trying to fill up a quota. But yeah, the J. Cole one surprises me. Like we talked about these other names on this list, and this is the first time we're seeing him.
Time we seeing him. Just let me jump in and just say this real quick. I've now looked up most streamed rappers of the year, and actually, our man Drake was the most streamed male rapper of the year, and then Future and Travis Scott were right behind him. Actually, Kanye was very well streamed last year. I'm looking at this, Bad Bunny. Those were the most streamed artists this year. Kendrick is not
Yeah,
in the top 5 most streamed artists, but he won this award. I just don't know. I don't know. That's why we're having this discussion, people.
but but streaming and charting are different now. So
If we go to charting, he's definitely going to lose in charting.
who?
Kendrick, Future charted and Drake charted a lot last year. I'm talking about on multiple days they charted. So I don't know. I
But this is,
and
it's a popularity thing. It's a very
yes, and
popularity
right
thing.
now I think
Um,
that the narrative, if I will, I think the narrative is Universal put a lot of money behind Kendrick and it paid off for them. But if you go by public, what the public has given it, the public is giving it what it's always been, that Drake is still the man. It'll depend on what happens with his next project, but I've looked at the numbers of what ladies and gentlemen, as of tonight, he and Party Next Door have put out a project, and it's an R&B project, but it is doing extremely well. Spotify, Apple Music, it's in the top 1, 2, 3 spot on all platforms. So I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because it's Party Next Door on the headline on it. Maybe that's the reason. All I know is that and we had this conversation before, Kev, that I did not think that this was going to take him out. I just thought it was a dent. He took a L and a slight L, and that he was still going to keep on trucking because that's what Universal wants. And you sent me a wonderful thing, and I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna double scream it, and we're gonna get back to this real conversation. I just want to say this one point. You sent me a excerpt of L.A. Reid talking about where music is today, and he said the reason why music is where it is today is because the major record labels crushed, defunded all the boutique, the Uptowns, the LaFaces, the Rough Riders, the everybody, any of those boutique ones, they crushed them, and by crushing them, now they dictate what is popular, and by that. And I'm gonna double scream it right after that. By them dictating what's popular, they say Drake's popular, and we don't have no choice.
I think well, that's to take that point when you say boutique, for anybody that doesn't know, it's just you're in between the indie and major label. You're in between. You're not an indie and you're not a major level. You're in that in between mark. And the thing is that, those labels, they made major label money, but they had to control like an indie label, which is very unique. You know what I mean? So um it was just you got a better quality of music. You got a whole lot. It's a way better quality of music. Motown was considered, boutique, and I mean, look who they had. The Jackson Five, Stevie Wonder, Smokey Robinson, and on and on and on. And Def Jam was boutique at one time. Um, with Def Jam, Uptown, and it's another label I can't think of, but
Who? Tommy Boy, LaFace,
well, yeah,
Rush,
LaFace.
not
Well,
Rush.
Rush
That's
was
Rush
management.
Management.
Yeah,
Who was a Method Man in them? Who were they with?
uh,
Ruckus. They were with Ruckus,
yeah.
right?
Well, Ruckus is very indie, so
You think Ruckus was indie? I thought they had
yeah,
a deal. They didn't have a distribution deal.
Ruckus was very indie. Ruckus is
Okay.
very indie. They might have had one of those distribution deals like Master P had.
Yeah. Yeah.
You pay something up front,
Yep.
you ship X amount, and then you
Yep.
get more in the back end or something like that.
Yep.
But but what Def Jam and Uptown were able to do for music period. I'm talking about across the board in the 80s and the 90s were giving the artists freedom to create what they wanted to create and figure it out later on. If the people ain't like it, we'll make tweaks or something, but put what's on your heart out there and we'll deal with it. And then, we really don't have that anymore. But to go back to your Drake point, I think one of the smart things he did was he never ran. We even, as Not Like Us was gaining steam, Drake was doing features, and people and he was still getting attention. They was like, "Oh, this feature sucks. Oh, this feature was all right. Oh, Drake stole this sound from so and so." he kept himself in the public eye, right? And it was so important because normally an artist who would have lost a battle, they'd have stayed out. They'd have stayed out the public eye the rest of the year. You know, they might have did an interview here and there, but they wouldn't have did no more music. Drake kept doing Drake. He kept doing music. He would collaborate with little known artists. He would collaborate with up and coming artists. He stayed in the picture, and that's why I think that this album with Party Next Door is doing so good. Now, if he drops a rap album later this year, he has to diss Future on this album, his next rap album, to push it to another level. We know he's gonna diss Kendrick, but he has to diss Future too, though.
Yeah, no doubt. I definitely believe that he has to do that. The issue for me is not whether he's going to do another album this year, is when. And I don't know if March or April is the time. I think he comes in right at Memorial Day, and then rocks multiple slaps through the summer. That makes sense to me. But I've been I've been wrong. I've been wrong all since last year. I've been wrong, so I
I
don't
no, I think
know.
he comes. I think he comes in the middle of the summer, towards the end of the summer.
Hmm.
Um, because this current album is doing so good, and he's touring well, like always. I think he's gonna really ride this momentum. Uh, it depends on what he does with his sound, because Drake doesn't get credit, but he does experiment with his sound. Um, it doesn't matter if you think he stole it or borrowed anything. He does. He still takes the initiative to do something different.
Hmm.
So it depends on what sound he comes with later on this year. But I can see a late July, August, September rap album coming out. But we'll see though. We'll see.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I'm totally
yeah.
with you on that. Oh, that's the one we need to talk about. Now, finally, a little something that's got a little interest to it. My bad. Female rapper of the year. That's Nicki Minaj, Glorilla, Doechii, Sexy Red, Lotto, Megan Thee Stallion, Rhapsody. I'm gonna jump in first and just say, of these artists, of these artists, I'm rocking with Rhapsody. I thought this was her year. I thought Glorilla's projects, she did 2 for the year. I thought she deserved this. Not saying Doechii didn't. Again, as far as concept albums go, she's in the top 3 of this year of the concept albums. Uh, Kev has heard me say I believe that Lupe Fiasco's concept album was the best. I think Tyler was the second best. I'm wrong as usual, and the crowd loves Doechii. But TDE had an amazing year where they're. I'm going to look up. I'm going to throw this back to Kevin. I'm going to look up who TDE is distributed by. Oh, you know what? They're distributed by Universal. So with that, you can understand why Doechii ran roughshod over this category because of the people on here, she and Nicki Minaj are the ones that I know for sure are Universal artists. And Universal Music Group is the most powerful music group in entertainment. They have partnerships with iTunes as well as Spotify. Again, I'm not here for conspiracies. I'm saying what the facts are. They have partnerships with both organizations. So if you have partnerships with those organizations, does that mean that you have some influence on who they push on their platforms? That's neither here nor there. I'll leave it up to you, the fans. I'm going to throw it back to my man, Kev. Kev, your thoughts on female rapper of the year for Double XL?
Well, it was actually a tie with Doechii and Glorilla. I'm not really mad at that. I'm not really mad at that. I think it kind of it represents 2 good albums. Glorilla wasn't going to get any recognition in any other platform. So for Double XL to do this, I think it was great because her album just wasn't no booty shaking album. It gave a lot though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like she had different stuff, and it was unexpected too. So for her to kind of go against what's considered the grain or doing something different, I think she should have been recognized for it. So I'm glad they did that. Yeah, and I'll give you some credit. The machine can play a huge part in your successes and your failures. Um, Not to say Doechii didn't have an incredible album, but yeah, like I said, one of our earlier shows, man, it's just like no one is really talking about what TDE did last year. They talk about Kendrick, they talk about Doechii and SZA in that movie with Kiki Palmer. I mean, I'm like, TDE really like ran things like when what's the label that the Migos are on? QC. When the Migos was running, they was out here charting all over the place. You heard Migos and their record label. Like every time whoever was on QC, you always heard their label or one of their owners brung up in some sort of conversation. But before last year, the big thing was, these people at TDE are holding SZA back. They're holding Kendrick Lamar back. But 2024, they get no credit for what the year they just had. That's crazy to me. But shout out to Double XL for being brave enough to recognize, Glorilla and Doechii because, they could have followed behind the Grammys real easy. And, they could have mirrored them, but adding the Glorilla aspect really shows that it was some people who really considered what she put out as quality. So, shout out to them.
Yeah, man, I'm with you on that. I'm totally on with that, and we're really trying to get deep into this. And I love that. I did not pay attention. Reading is fundamental, people. So as I'm going down my tablet, did some research. I just did not pay attention to Glorilla. I moved on to the next artist, which is the best new artist of the year, and that's why I was a little off on not saying that. So let's go with best new artist nominees, and that is Boss Man D-Lo, Big X the Plug, Huncho, Four Bats, Skilla Baby, That Mexican OT, and Cash Cobain. And the winner of this, who I believe should have been the winner of this, because I really enjoyed his project, and that was Big X the Plug. Hey, the dude was, I was surprised. And for an old dude like myself, a man of a certain age, I was like, what is going on? This young man is bringing back rap. And I wouldn't expect this young man from where he's from to bring back rap. I would thought, looking at him, you would think he'd be another mumble rapper or another trap rapper. And in general, what he did what Moray did. And I want Moray to be more popular. I just can't get there. He doesn't have the machine behind him. But yes, kudos to Big X, the plug. He did an amazing job. I thought his album was strong. I didn't his competition on here. Maybe Kev can correct me on this. I just don't think there was any competition on here. But him. He really
Uh,
did in.
I mean, Boss Man D-Lo was effective. Four Bats had like one or two hits. Um, Mexican OT he's not really a new artist to me. He's been out for a while, so um, him being on the list, I think it's more about popularity than anything. I mean, you can Skilla Baby and some of these others, you can probably make a case for, but Boss Man and Big X, I think it was really down to those two. And just like you said, Big X did so much with his album. that it was. I don't think anybody else on the list was going to beat him. Um, he hit you with those some of that personal stuff he rapped about was was effective. You know what I mean? Like you said, a guy your age can listen to that personal stuff and know what he's talking about, and it hits. Um, that takes a skill because a lot of these younger cats can't do that today. So we gotta applaud him for that. And I think this was in my top 5 albums of the year. I'll be honest with you. If I didn't, I had it at 5 or 6. I can't remember which one, but I almost think it was at 4. Yeah, I really,
That's
really,
what's
really,
up.
really, yeah, I really like that album. I really like that album, and I totally agree with this one. So, what's up
Yeah.
next? Lyricist. Yeah,
He's I just want to say this before we move on. He did slip through my top 5. You know me, I went old school because a lot of old school artists dropped this year, but in general, man, he did a nice job, so I got to give him that credit. Now we're moving on to lyricist of the year. And that the nominees are Ab Soul, Eminem, J. Cole, Tyler the Creator, Drake, Doechii, and the winner, Kendrick Lamar. I got to start this one off. Again, this is one that I find egregious because I believe that of the artists on here who spit the realest, I'm gonna give it to J. Cole. I'm gonna give it to Tyler the Creator. Those two of the people who were nominated on this project, they put it down. You know, I was like, how are they not the winners of this? When if you're talking about interpersonal reflection, if you're talking about wordsmiths, if you're talking about double entendres, if you're talking about any of those things, and then I will slide in Eminem because he had several of his slaps that were very, very lyrical. And I'm not the hugest fan of um, Eminem. I'm just not the biggest fan. So, hey, I think this is egregious. I'm not saying he did not have an amazing year. Don't get me wrong. But Kendrick was not the lyricist of the year. Kev, your thoughts?
I. Well, okay. Let's say this. We know why Kendrick won. We can say that. We can get that out the way. And like I said earlier, Kendrick is part of pop culture now. So, uh, he has a lot of you know one line or one bar that people are repeating in normal conversation now. So the popularity can push you up further. Um do I think that he had the best words of the year? Not really. And that's not a knock against him, but uh Common 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 had some good stuff this year. Lupe, he had some good stuff. Now we're talking about this category. I'm surprised Common is not nominated nowhere. We haven't hit Common's name yet, and we're almost at the end. Common is nowhere on here.
Lupe's nowhere on there.
Lupe is nowhere on here. Rhapsody normally gets the BET Awards. This is something that they always put Rhapsody in.
Mm-hmm.
So I was expecting to see her in this category, but she's not here. Emma's going to get in, like you said earlier. It's his last album. Surprisingly, Ab Soul is here. TDE has 3 artists in this one category. Once again, why is nobody talking about TDE in 2024? Double XL put 3 of their artists in the lyricists of the year category. I don't know about Drake. I don't know if I'd have put Drake in this category either. But I'm not really mad at Kendrick though. I'm not really mad, so
Hey, man, I'm just saying. I'm just
I
saying.
mean, look, the only thing I would say is this. I think me personally, J. Cole had the best diss record of 2024.
No
I, I,
doubt.
I'll say that.
And it
I'm
is
gonna say that.
egregious that he took that off the project, because that was, to me, slap wise, it was a slap, and he spit.
I think he should have had the. I think Kendrick Lamar and him should have had a good conversation, and I think Kendrick should have understood his reply. Now we don't know what happened behind the scenes. There's rumors, but something was said behind the scenes that made J. Cole feel some type of way to, one, make a public statement, and two, take the song off. But to me, it was the best diss song of the year. It was, yeah, it was just the best. So yeah, this I don't know. I don't know why Ab-Soul is here. Nothing against Ab-Soul, but we never really look at Ab-Soul for his lyrics though.
No,
We
we
don't.
do
We
not.
don't.
All
Yeah,
right.
rap and Rhapsody always is in this, but yeah, let's go. We could go to producer.
Yeah, let's move on to producer. Again, another one I find, to me, to be a little egregious. Again, I get that Mustard was on the ride of the tsunami. I get it. But here are your nominees for producer of the year from XXL Awards. That's Mustard, Metro Booming, Tyler the Creator, Soundwave, The Alchemist, Boy Wonder, and Go Grizzy. I'm just going to say, for me, I'm not talking about you. You do you. But for me, I got to give Metro Booming the nod on this, because not only did he put out two strong projects with Future, but he also gave us, yeah, BBL Drizzy. He gave us BBL Drizzy. And for that, he deserves everything, because not only did he give you strong music throughout the year, but he also gave you an amazing, matter of fact, if you ask me, outside of They Not Like Us, BBL Drizzy, I need to look that up. We should investigate that, because BBL Drizzy was trending for at least 2 to 3 weeks. So many people came back with BBL Drizzy answers, that song was amazing, no
It's about
doubt.
pop culture because
But if you look at this, it's not, because he won no awards for
he
producer of the year.
didn't, but
That's crazy.
me and my daughter was in the store and she just bust out, started singing BBL Drizzy, and like six people followed in behind her just randomly in the store. And you're right about that though. But I'll go back to the point I just made. Where's Pete Rock? Where's Pete Rock? Like I'll give you this. You were very high on that album more than me. I had to go back when we did an album of the year list. I had to go back and listen to it to really, for it really to hit me. I thought it was okay, but when I really listened to it again at the end of the year, I got it then, and they did a good interview circuit this year.
Yep.
So yeah, them not getting nominated is in nothing is surprising.
No doubt. I'm with you on that.
They did a good
What
press
what
run.
what Common and Pete and Pete Rock did this year was amazing. But we all know that anything that is positive, and they did an amazingly positive project, is not going to shine. Thank goodness that Rhapsody was able to get a little shine with her positive rap. But we all know that when we look at this list here, and no knock on anybody on here, but in general, none of these artists, right? Sorry, none of these producers produce music that is uplifting and that moves a culture forward. What Pete Rock did with Common is something that is worth investing time and listening to. They just they just were not they didn't have distribution by the four majors. And I did want to throw this at you before we get off this topic, is that I looked up QC. QC is not distributed by an American top four. They're actually distributed by a Korean distributor. And that makes what they did with the Migos and the other artists that are under QC even more amazing. And I just wanted to say that before we move on. But Kev, I'm telling you, this was egregious to me. I love Mustard. Mustard saved I'm sorry, Mustard saved K Dot. That beat and Squabble beat. Those two beats are the beats that saved Kendrick. But Metro Boomin's year, out of this world. Metro Boomin not winning, that's crazy. Nate Jackson, thank you, sir. Nate Jackson. That's crazy. So moving on, we move on to Performer of the Year, and the nominees were Travis Scott, Nicki Minaj, Tyler the Creator, Doja Cat, Lotto, Megan Thee Stallion, and Doechii. And the winner was Doechii, correct? Am I correct on that?
Yeah,
Doechii.
yeah, yeah.
So again, I if you're talking about entertainment, I got to give it to her. She was amazing. She was extremely entertaining. Extremely entertaining. So I'm going to
Her
give her
her
the
Grammy
extreme.
her Grammy press run was out of this world, man. I don't know what happened when she first dropped this album. It got a little buzz, but the buzz it didn't get enough buzz in the beginning of the year, but at the end of the year, when it got nominated for that Grammy, it was something different. It was something different. It's the way you supposed to run towards a Grammy. So, like I said, man, I hope Travis Scott pays attention. He wants a Grammy. This is what you do when you want a Grammy. You gotta, if you don't want to do interviews, fine. You gotta go to these talk shows and perform. You gotta go to you gotta do something. You gotta go out here. You can find, I mean, like I was saying earlier, man, the way media is set up, you can find a YouTuber or a TikToker or somebody, and y'all can come up with something where you can minimize your talking, but you can shine this light on you to help you win a Grammy. What Doechii just did is a prime example of what it takes to elevate your game. It's more than music. You know what I'm saying? It's more than music in today's environment. And she did just that. Like she took, you know who she reminded me of in this press run? She reminded me of what Tyler really does. When Tyler is very focused, this is what it looks like. And that's exactly what Doechii did. Um, and I think other artists need to look at that. Like, Kanye is like the biggest thing out there. I don't care what nobody say. So many of today's artists, they follow behind him, they admire him. Um, they love what Kanye does, but Tyler the Creator is who you should be kind of emulating because he just does it right. He does it right. Uh his music is right, his videos are right, his performances are right, everything is just right. You know what I mean? Like he even when he push buttons, he know how to push buttons right. It's just he's like he's the perfect picture of an artist. All genres of music. It's Tyler the Creator. You know what I'm saying? So I, I'm not mad at her winning at all. I do agree. I agree.
That's what's up. I stamped that as well. Now we're going to move on to the final, and that the final category, and that was Video of the Year. Again, I'm gonna have something to say about this, so I'm gonna go into my diatribe very quickly, straight off of the reading of the nominees. And the nominees for Video of the Year for XXL Awards 2025, and that is ASAP Rocky, Taylor Swift, Eminem, Houdini, Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us, Tyler the Creator, Noid, Travis Scott, Fiend featuring Playboy Cardi, Megan Thee Stallion, BOA, a diss song, and then Kendrick Lamar, Squabble Up. Here I go, people. Listen up. I understand the phenomenon. I understand the tsunami. I get it. It was an amazing year for him. But this, again, gives you the understanding of who's behind him. Because if you look at these other artists and what they did in their videos, there's no way he could have been number one. What Tyler the Creator did with Noid, what Eminem did with Houdini, brilliant stuff. Really, really cinematography. It was just an amazing example of what a video should be. Hey, it is what it is. We know who won. We can't change that. But I'm here to tell you that it's all about who distributes your music. Because again, Tyler, I'm even say, I want to say, I'm gonna let Kev, because Kev knows better than I do. I'm gonna even say Travis Scott's Fiend with Playboy Cardi. The cinematography on that was just so indulgent, so interesting, so passionate that I think three of these nominees did better than Not Like Us. Not Like Us, it was people hanging out in the street and some scene changes. Kev, your thoughts, bro?
I get it. I get it. Now I think about it, I remember Travis and Playboy Cardi did a performance, I think, of that song, and it didn't go over well. Um, and I think that's what hurt some of his steam. Um, I mean, but outside of that, like you said, Eminem is going to get uh leaving out the door, nomination. I like Not Like Us. I liked it. I liked it. I really liked it. He really took it back to the California roots and some of their culture, but he took it to the people. You know what I mean? Like, he went to all these different neighborhoods, and I think that it was a guy that said that, like, a day or two before the video shoot and like a day or two after, it was like quiet, like no violence, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, it was very peaceful. People felt safe, and and that's impactful. You know what I mean? Like, it's for him to be able to kind of bring peace for a couple days in these neighborhoods out there. I think it's very strong. He's not gonna get no credit for it because nobody really is gonna talk about it. But uh overall, it's the song of the year. It's the song of the year, and he actually, he actually made people look at Drake in a different way. So, however you look at the song or look at the video, it was all about the impact. And when we was talking about it, I said, until there's a video, I said he's going to drop a video for this song. He has to, and it elevated, what we was listening to. So most of this other stuff, I mean, it was innovative. I mean, a lot of stuff was innovative. It was different. Even Squabble Up had, some differences more than Not Like Us, but Not Like Us took it to the people. Like, how many artists today are shooting videos in the street, or they asking for, hey, we're shooting a video, come out and support? That's old school stuff, right? He took it back. He took it back to the 80s and 90s when you really think about it, and no one is really going to touch on that. So I'm not mad at him at all on that one.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I'm just saying, I know that what Tyler did on his video, oh,
But you're talking about theatrical, right?
yes,
Which
that's
is
a
which is which,
video.
but that's nothing wrong with that though. But what I'm saying is, how many have taken it back to the essence? They went back to the people. When was the last time we seen an artist at this age do a video like this? It's been a long time. We don't see videos like that. The closest thing with the Drake, when he was giving out money, but I mean, you really can't say that though, right?
No, you're right.
We haven't seen this is an old school type of video. It's an old school video.
No, I'm totally with you. I got you. And again, I'm
That's
the
more
one that's
different.
wrong.
That's more different than the theatrics.
I'm again, I'm the one that's wrong on this. But all I'm saying is that um, we did a review on my boy from the West Coast, Dom Kennedy, and he did a video that was quite similar. And he brought a lot of people from the hood, Inglewood, and wherever else he hung out at, and it was similar. So you can go back and check it out. But
Right.
Dom
I'm not saying
Kennedy,
that. I'm not gonna say you're wrong. I'm not gonna say you're wrong. I think the theatrics is important in video making. Missy Elliott and Busta Rhymes have set standards
mm-hmm,
that uh that a lot of people really can't touch. Haven't It took a while for people to even match what they were doing, and that's what you're getting now. But I don't think that old school feel. I think we gotta give it just a little, give it a little nudge, man. It might seem basic to some, but we don't see this. We really don't see this now.
no doubt. I think that hip hop is going in the right direction. I believe that Not Like Us, Tsunami did what it was supposed to do. I'm in hopes that 2025 will have that sort of effort put into lyricism, into repping your area and uplifting the people and moving the culture forward. I'm in hopes that all of these things happen. But all I'm saying is that I know what happened in 2024, and there was a lot of good stuff that didn't get recognized. And we know every year a lot of people don't get recognized. All I'm saying, I wanted to mention tonight on my platform and yours that we were able to mention people who gave us a little something else. And like I said, Dom Kennedy, Lupe Fiasco, LL Cool J, they all gave us some beautiful things. And like you said, there's a lot of artists out there doing their thing. And I love the masses. So let's keep it moving with the masses. Man, I appreciate this conversation. It has been strong. I'm always an appreciation of what my man Kev gives me. The man is brilliant. He's on the pulse of what's happening in rap today. And for someone in our age range, he's younger than I am, much younger than I am. For him to have his finger on the pulse as well as what's going on, I try my best to do the same. But his take on it is much more complimentary than mine. And as we move forward in the year, again, we will be bringing in our guests will be coming back. We'll be having some stronger discussions. Hopefully, we got some more music coming out. March is just around the corner, so hopefully something drops in March that we really like. We will be talking about um, two Two Chain's new project. Two Chain's new project is with what Larry June. Kev, who was that with? Yeah, we're on the production, so we'll be talking about them very soon. Look out for that. Uh, don't forget, please share, like, subscribe, and comment. You can comment on all our social media posts and let us know what your thoughts are. We do plan on doing a live show very soon. We're just waiting to have a topic that is very controversial come up that we can have a real conversation about. These topics, they're neither here nor there. There's an old man complaining. That's all we're doing tonight. So with that, I'm going to let Kev give the last words before we get out of here. Kev, your thoughts before we get out of here.
We gotta appreciate, shout out Double XL, man, for even doing this and not just being a really afraid to pick mainstream. I mean, there was some nominees that night that really wasn't really considered popular or mainstream, but overall, shout out to them, shout out to all hip hop media, shout out to you guys again, and just keep up the fight, man, and let's see how we can in 2025. Hopefully, it's better than 24. So
All right, that's what's up. And you know what time it is? We are out of here, my party people. Peace.